Good evening. I'm Aaron from Drawings.
Hello, I am Matthew from the band Drawings.
Start off by asking you guys quickly, where did the band name Drawings come from?
It came from the front of a book, just like a sketchbook that said Drawings on the front of it, funnily enough. And I thought it was a cool name. We decided, afterwards, to try and attach some kind of meaning to it, and I'd already written this sort of pretentious manifesto or something of what the band was going to be. Yeah, it's all about, as long as you look cool in the long run, doesn't matter whether it actually means anything.
How would you describe your sound?
Rock.
Yeah, I'd say rock music. I mean, that's what we want to be, a rock band. But I think that's another sort of thing that our band, we don't try and get bogged down in this we are a metalcore band or we are a pop punk band with synths or whatever. We're just a band that play rock music, and rock music is a massive spectrum, so that's us.
So who would you say your main influences are then?
I'd say, for me, probably bands like Biffy Clyro, I guess. I grew up listening to Biffy Clyro and RX Bandits, maybe. But then there's a load of other things as well. Me and Matt especially listen to a lot of hip hop, and I don't know, Matt likes folk music as well, a lot of folk music, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think just music, we're all kind of like-minded in the respect that we just like music that's good. It doesn't really matter what that sounds like, which is why we listen to a lot of hip hop and exactly. Willow Smith, yeah. She's cool by us.
What do you think makes a good gig then? When you go to see a band, what do you think makes a good gig?
I've thought about this a lot, and I think that what makes a good gig, it doesn't really matter how well the band can play. If the band, as long as you mean it, I think it doesn't matter, because I've definitely seen bands that are pretty rubbish on their instruments, but there's something about them that's great. So that overshadows the fact that they can't play.
And even seeing bands that are good and just can't engage with the audience, or something about the atmosphere isn't.
For real, I think it's like energy. I think that's totally. It's gonna make me sound like a big hippie, but I think that's actually what it is. It's just about whether there's a good energy in the room or not, and I don't know where that comes from. If I knew, we'd be a better band, maybe. But it's like you can try your hardest to make a good energy in the room and get people engaged, and it just doesn't happen. And then some nights you're not trying at all, and it happens loads. There's no hard and fast rule as to how to make a good gig, but I think so long as there's some interesting bands and there's some open-minded people there wanting to listen to music and things, and good promoters and things, I think that tends to help, definitely.
So you're in the process of recording your debut album. Mm-hmm. You said on your Facebook that it's like the next Chinese democracy. How long has it taken?
It's difficult because we're poor. I don't know how else to say that. Because we're poor, we can't really afford to rent a good studio and everything. But because between us we've done so many recordings in the past, we didn't want it to be rubbish. So we've tried really hard to make it as good as possible. And luckily, we're friends with a guy who's quite a big up-and-coming record producer, and he's just basically letting us run errands for him, and me and Aaron helped build his new studio and stuff like that, and just to pay off the recording time or whatever. So at the moment, once we get the vocals finished, which we're doing at my house just because I have a home studio set up, then we have to pay to get it mixed, which is expensive. It's just like as and when we can afford it, but because we don't have like a record deal or anything, like it's difficult. But we're hoping to like record it and then get someone to release it, because I don't know, I don't really have too much to say about people downloading stuff and the state of the music industry, but it just seems a bit pointless at the moment to have someone else pay for your recording. You may as well pay for it yourself, because then you own it and you can do what you want with it. So.
You guys are from Southampton, as far as I'm aware, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the local music scene here?
To
me it seems a bit, there's not really a defining scene down here.
I don't think there is a defining scene, no. But I think compared to, I reckon even like a year or two ago, I think it's better now. Just because I think there's loads more bands now. Loads of people trying to put on shows. Like you guys, I guess you put in. Like, is this your first show?
Not me personally.
Not your first show, but like there's people trying to do stuff in Southampton, which is more than used to happen, basically. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it used to years and years ago. It was really cool, and there was like a punk scene at least that was happening, and but then it sort of just everything stopped, and no one was putting on gigs, and if you wanted to play, you could only play through the 2 or 3 venues that were in town. There wasn't any outside promoters or anything, but yeah, it does seem like now there's like a bunch of bands that all sound completely different. So there's not, as you say, there's not like a one defining scene, but it seems there is a lot of up and coming bands at least that are good. And I just think if bands could be a bit more like, just like a bit more friendly, like we really try and be friendly to other bands, and there are a lot of other bands that do that, but there are some bands that aren't as friendly, and it seems like if everyone just grouped together and helped each other out a little bit, there'd be a better scene. There'd be a scene. Yeah.
How long has your band been together now?
We've been together for 2 years.
Nearly 2 years, I guess. Yeah.
Where do you see yourself, say, at the end of next year? What are your ambitions?
Top of the world.
I don't really know. I mean, best case scenario, obviously we'd be the biggest band in the world and making lots of money and like
World tours.
Yeah, just being cool. But but I think realistically, we just want to get the album out, and I mean, who knows? Maybe by the end of next year, maybe even another album, or I don't know. But just like to be touring, and we'd like to be at a stage where we're touring enough to not have to have jobs and stuff.
So talking about your music taste, then, what albums are you currently listening to? Are there any that you've got stuck on repeat?
I've been listening to the first disc of the White Album by the Beatles about 5 times a day for the last 3 weeks.
Is that to coincide with Beatles Week or the release on iTunes?
No, weirdly, I just complete coincidence. Yeah, I only read about that today. I forgot. It's like
Didn't even know.
John Lennon died.
30 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Possibly any guilty pleasures if you can't think of any.
Guilty pleasures. I'll whip my hair back and forth. I guess at the moment, a guy called Atmosphere, who's a guy called Slug, who does this thing called Atmosphere, who's like a hip hop artist.
Yeah.
An album called God Loves Ugly, which is amazing. The guy's done like loads and loads of stuff, but that's one album at the moment that I think's ridiculous.
It's crazy because he's not very big in England,
No, not at all. Not at all.
but really big in America.
Yeah, in America he's pretty massive in like hip hop and like the rap scene or whatever, but in England it doesn't seem like many people know him unless obviously you're into hip hop.
Yeah. Next one's a bit of a thinker. If you could work with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be?
Like just one musician or
You can choose
a group? If it could be a whole band, I'd really love to play with probably John Paul Jones on bass guitar. John Paul Jones on bass guitar, John Frusciante on guitar, Who would play drums? Someone sick.
Probably me.
Aaron Graham on drums. And then, I don't know, someone good singing. Donny Hathaway.
I'm just going to say Dave Grohl. Because I love him.
Final question then. If you guys weren't involved in music, what else would you like to be doing?
I think you asked the wrong guys. Well, I don't really do anything other than play music. Do you?
I'd like to be a footballer.
Would you?
Oh, of course. Of course, yeah. I'd like to be a footballer, but I'm too good, so no one will take me. It's a bit rubbish.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I just don't really do anything other than play music. I don't really have any aspirations.
Skateboard.
Other than that, I do skateboard a lot, but I am rubbish.
Yeah.